Welcome back to Shifted Reality Season 2, Episode 8. Now that we have our cleric set up in a nice new cathedral church, let's move on to further development of our village. So far in our village we have our toolsmith, a church with plenty of clerics, and our weaponsmith. But what we are missing is a armor smith. And that is what we are going to resolve today. I've already laid out a little bit of a layout here. We're going to put them right here. We get this nice long hall building. And the reason why this is slightly larger than even our blacksmith shop for the tool or the weapon shop for the swords, we are looking at needing at least 2 different villagers, because no villager will have all pieces of armor available in one trade, so you need at least 2 selectively chosen in order to fulfill all your armor needs, and that's what we are going to accomplish today. So we're going to have a nice long hallway, and we're going to have a square yard, but beyond that, I'm not really sure where we're going with this yet, but let's walk through the design process on how to make a better armor shop for your village. And feel free to use any of these concepts or ideas in your own builds. And if you do use them, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know where I can see what you have built. Your Reddit posts, your own YouTube videos, anything at all. I would love to see what you come up with, because working together we can build better Minecraft worlds. Now I'm going to want to incorporate elements from all the builds. So whether it's the church, the blacksmith and weaponsmith shops, or my original starter base, all need to be incorporated into here so it looks like a cohesive build, whilst also adding something new. So once I have this yard similar to the blacksmith and armor shop, rather than having the workstations be out here, I am going to put them inside this time, and I'm going to separate this out with a couple archways. So let's see, if I put in a 3 gap here, and there you go. Then I can do an archway starting from here, up and over to here, and then again up and over here. And then we can put our workstations in the inside here. So for this archway, I'm going to utilize a new brick that I haven't used yet, which is just the standard red brick. And in order to do that, I am going to need to go fetch some clay. So let's go swimming. So here are the 3 brick varieties, and the brick is what I was thinking about using, but I'm wondering if there's something I can't do with the red nether brick or the regular nether brick to kind of tie it in a little bit more. Maybe if I bring the whole thing back one spot, we might be able to get a little bit more variety in here. Let's take a look at this. I think this looks a little too square, and this is why I was thinking I could back it out a little bit. Well, there is some variation I can put in here. So here with the fence gate at the bottom, it kind of creates a little bit more of a rounded appearance, but it's the outside edge that's still too square, and that's why I was thinking maybe I need to offset the main brick and inset the red brick. Let me show you. Now with that, it gives a bit more of an arch with the regular brick, and then the red brick kind of is like a subset of it, which I think looks pretty good overall. I think I'm going to go with this as it is. I'm just going to push the red brick behind the main brick, and it'll give a nice contrast whilst creating a gateway into the workstations. All right. Now making the red brick insetted into the regular brick does have to make the walls a little thicker than you normally might do it, which is in this case 3 wide. But ultimately sometimes you have to sacrifice dimensions for good looks, and that's what we did here, and I like the response of it. Let's bring it together. Right now what we're working on is framing out the overall structure so we know where we're going with this, as well as tying in the color palettes and design choices of the other buildings, which is why for the entryway I have the pale oak arches framed by the stripped dark oak logs. And as we come in here, I'm thinking, what are we going to be doing? Where are we going to be putting things? We need to have at least 2 beds since we're having 2 workstations. Where do we want windows? And what is our overall elevation going to be? Now on this main level, due to the way the terrain currently is, not necessarily that the terrain is going to continue to be this way, I decided I don't really want windows behind the workstations, even though I have one window off to the side of them right there. And windows don't really work too well along here. I could maybe put a window into the yard, but I'm not sure if that is necessary or will look decent. But I do want to have windows onto the structure. So what I'm thinking is we need to have at least a second floor. And I'm going to keep this main hallway open on one floor. And this is honestly where we're going to put the beds because the pathfinding ability of villagers is not the greatest. But we're going to use this corner bit where I did not strip the dark oak logs to put in a staircase to take us up. And I'm going to put a second floor above the workstations. Now, there's probably not going to be anything to draw the villagers up here, but it's more for the aesthetic. So what I'm thinking is we're going to put the sleeping quarters down here, but we're going to design it more like this is a casual greeting area. And then we're going to put in a stairwell to go up to a second floor where we're going to put in a little kitchen and probably another bedroom, most likely with fake beds rather than having actual beds up here, because again, I don't want to draw villagers upstairs too much because their pathfinding ability to get up and down for their workstations to recharge and restock any of their trades is not the greatest. So we gotta kind of plan and work around that. This feels a little out of place, but I wasn't quite sure how I wanted my walls to go yet. So I kind of took a little moment to distract myself by deciding on a floor pattern. And I went with something similar to what I had over in the church, except instead of using dark oak, I chose to use oak slabs and stripped birch wood as the lighter wear pattern areas. And it's just, I like it. It's a little bit more bright, a little bit more vibrant. Not quite as dark and moody as a church that worships the creeper should be. So that's where I'm coming with from that angle. And now I think this has given me a little bit of inspiration as to how I should continue on with my wall pattern, actually. So let's get on that. Now in the past I've used the tough bricks to give a sense of shadow where Minecraft otherwise doesn't grant it. But in this case, I got the idea. I'm going to use it to intersperse the wall as more of a grungier, dirtier section of it that needs to be cleaned, and emphasize and drive that point home with the mossy stone brick, occasionally using the clean bricks just to show that it does grow and spread. But generally speaking, you have this building at the bottom of a hill, you're going to have water runoff, excess moisture. It's just going to create additional headaches for the people who are choosing to occupy this building, and maybe they're just not up to the task of keeping it clean all the time, and it's going to create that kind of a mildery, grungy, half basement sort of look, which really kind of felt like it belonged with the hill being jutted right up against it. I did terraform it back a little bit because otherwise you get the walls that are connected like that, and I didn't want that look all along the edge. So I tried to just clean it up a bit, take it back, while still maintaining that kind of vanilla terraform look. Well, I'll be darned. I actually made some sales. Now, Davy Jones' library selling some books does not surprise me. There is actually some good enchantments in there. So 3 books sold for 3 diamonds. Not bad for something I just fished up and didn't really expect to use much. Let's just move these ones back up here so that they are where they are more likely to be seen. But the sale that really surprised me was the tropical fish. I put 2 tropical fish in each slot saying, hey, 2 tropical fish for 1 iron ingot. And honestly, I didn't expect it to sell a single one because what good are tropical fish? Honestly, I don't know who bought this or why they wanted it, but apparently I gotta go fish up some more tropical fish. Go figure. Actually, before returning to my builds, I am going to do what is necessary to help establish a good quality shopping district on any server. Anytime you earn diamonds, turn around and spend some diamonds on your neighbors. Well, looks like he lowered his prices, so I'll go ahead and buy some iron. And what do we have over here? Rockets, 2 diamonds each. Well, he only has 1 stack of rockets, and I haven't really been flying around much yet, so I do have wings, but I still need to get the unbreak mending on them, so we'll let him stock up first before we start buying his rockets. Remember, folks, diamonds are pretty worthless if you keep them buried in your ender chest, not doing anything or doing good for anyone. If your server does have a shopping district, buy anytime you can. Keep the diamonds moving in the economy in order to maintain any value whatsoever. This has been your Economics 101 lesson. Now, if you're planning to put on a second floor and you have the space, don't be worried about putting in a gap between your roof of the first floor and the floor of the second floor, because it allows you to create not only a ceiling that has a unique texture and a unique set of blocks. When you do get up to the second floor, it allows you to have a completely different block in this smooth surface for the floor of the upper level. And this is just a convenient, simple way to differentiate between your floors and have unique designs between your floors and your ceilings. And it really helps bring pieces together and make them feel more cohesively realistic, even though you are sacrificing a little bit on your height space. You mean it's going to get a little bit taller than otherwise, but usually that extra height just will add to the overall aesthetic of your base and your builds. Whoa, what the heck? Zombie! Stupid zombie. Come over here and take a look at what I'm working on my next episode. What do you think of this so far?
What is it supposed to be?
It's going to be my armor smith shop.
Well, so far it doesn't look bad. I see you're utilizing the walls again. You're going to do that with every build now.
Well, I like walls. I don't understand why people don't use wall blocks more often. Honestly, they're
So far it looks good.
I mean, wall blocks are such a good, tool. Plus, when you intersperse them with, solid blocks, you get this nice vertical slab look. And I really don't get why people don't use them more often. Why are you sleeping on the floor, you villager? You have a bed, right there. Is he sleeping on the floor for you, too?
No, but I see it all the time. I know what you mean.
But no, if you look at clerics, their back of their robes have a creeper face on it, so clearly they worship the creeper.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to get a creeper head.
Oh, but yeah, I want to put a couple banners like on the two sides of the large arched window. The design I picked off of Planet Minecraft requires a creeper head, so. Well, the creeper head banner pattern.
I still haven't made a banner myself, which is really odd.
Are you doing your standard?
I don't know. It's like I kind of want to carry on what I was doing last season, but with more newer architecture. But at the same time, I kind of just want to change it altogether. I have no idea because I'm going a lot more slow this season, and a part of that is because I quite frankly just don't know what to build. I've been building in that architecture last season for so long that now I'm just kind of lost.
Yeah, I understand that. It's like last season, just building one singular mega structure. It was pretty easy just to always be expanding. But this season, trying to build individual structures, I'm just like, do I really want to build another villager house or a villager storefront?
That's one thing I was going to do last season that I never fully completed, but I definitely want to do this season is have the lively villages. I'm going to be putting villagers all around my base. I'm going to have the whole area lit up so there's stupid zombies. But no, they can walk to their houses, walk to their jobs, etc. So I do plan on trying to do something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, in this case, specific villagers, I'm keeping them within their beds and their workstations. But I do want the village here just to generally have random villagers wandering about as well. At some point, I have the one villager breeder with carrots, and I need to build like 3 others, are just around, just so that they constantly are expanding and putting out new villagers. Because villagers have die randomly for no good reason. If you're not protecting them,
they'll always find a way to somehow kill themselves.
If you're not protecting a villager, they will wander off a cliff or something. I don't know. It's always nice to catch up with your server members, but it's time to get back to work on here. And the reason why I didn't put a roof on this main level yet, I kind of wanted to get a sense of scale for how it would look once we had the second floor on over here. And now that I am seeing it, I want to put in a sloping roof that goes from the tower down to the main entrance. And I have an idea how I'm going to do that. So let's put in the supporting walls as to the height elevation, and then we'll see where we go from there. So just like I wanted to finish the second level before I put a roof on the first level, just for the sense of scale, I wanted to get the roof on the second level before I looked at completing the tower that goes in the corner. And again, it's just about a sense of scale, and now that I can see where we're at, I have a pretty good idea of where I want to be. And there we have it, our new Armorsmith shop, complete with another Widow's Peak. Similar in design to the previous one, just a little bit different, a little bit darker, kind of to reflect the armorer's ways. I kept the interior fairly simple, just stairs up to the second level, a little writing desk with a dead plant, chest for storage, and mainly just a spot for our 2 armorers to wander around, who, due to their trades, we can now get full armor anytime we want, nice and cheap. Now you may notice, unlike the toolsmith and weaponsmith, I did not set this building up like a storefront. And that's because this is not their storefront. Their storefront is going to be at spawn. Let's go check that out as well. And I wanted to spread it out. I didn't want it to be right next to our fish market. So I set it over here up next against the wall. And it's a bit of a pop-up design. You got the little bit of a forge, anvil, cauldron full of oil for quenching. And here we have all the diamond armor and tools that anybody is going to need to get geared up and set up. We've taken all enchantments off of it. We're just selling the armor for 1 diamond each, which will save people money and keep the diamonds moving through the economy. But if they want, they can come over here, get some lapis, or use their own to enchant it immediately after purchasing. And that's that for today's episode. What did you think of our armor shop build? We got our new villagers in, and we are moving along, keeping ourselves with a living village that is going to supply us with all of our needs across the season. If you have any suggestions for what we should go next, or what we should name our armor shop, let me know. Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.